So the first question is, tell me how you got your start at Gateway Longview and what other roles have you held at Gateway?
So my background is actually in special education, and I finished my master's degree and I was like, I don't want to do this. It's not what I want to do with my life. So I ended up working for FedEx, and I was in customs brokerage for a few years. And then I decided that I wanted to work with people again, and I wanted to actually feel like my work was meaningful. So one of my good friends, Emily Keneally, and her mom, Lori Miazga, are in the foster care program here. And they were telling me about some open positions. So I applied, and I've been here since November 2018. And then June 1st, I will be transitioning to be the Raise the Age Care Coordination Supervisor, developing the new program under Ebony Miller. So it's going to be really exciting.
So can you talk a little bit about the Raise the Age program?
Yeah, so we are working to kind of make some change in regards to the juvenile justice system and how those cases are handled in New York now. It is state legislation. So we're going to be working to provide services for kids who may otherwise have traditionally be incarcerated. So we're going to link them with educational programs. So whether that's getting back into high school or a GED program, making sure they have appropriate support. So like mental health counseling, substance use counseling, things like that. And just making sure that they're linked back with the community appropriately. Doing a lot of like restorative justice work.
But what is your role within Gateway Longview now? And take us through like a typical day.
So currently I'm a high fidelity wraparound care coordinator. There's definitely never a typical day with this job. There's always, you go in starting a day thinking that it's going to be like normal and you're just going to do some paperwork and notes and visits, and then crises happen and things like that. But most days it's generally doing home visits, team meetings, making collateral contacts with like mental health counselors, health home care managers, schools, Erie County, things like that.
Tell me about your best day at Gateway Longview.
I'm not going to say best day. I'm going to say a best case that I have had. So I had a youth and family that I worked with. The youth was very chronically ill. She was hospitalized, and they honestly didn't think she was going to make it through. She had a lot of service providers. The family had a lot of like system involvement. So we were able to have a meeting with everybody, and she was discharged home. Dad was able to like manage her medical needs, even though he had his own stuff going on. So it was a huge collaborative effort for that case, and it ended up being really successful.
It must
Yeah.
feel really good to like close a case and just be
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, it is, because I mean, obviously that's not always the case that we get positive closures, and sometimes kids are AWOL or families just aren't receptive to services, and that's just the reality of it. But then you get these cases and you're like, okay, this is why I do what I do.
so what kind of personality traits or characteristics do you think are important for this role?
You have to be very flexible. You always kind of have to be on your toes for sure. Because like I said, you never know what you're gonna walk into. Empathetic. You have to have really good communication skills. And be organized, because there is always a lot of stuff going on.
So what do you hope that the youth or family or clients that you work with take away when they leave Gateway Longview?
I hope they would leave with a sense of being empowered and knowing that, like, even though obviously they came into services needing support, they're the ones who put in the effort and are making those successful outcomes.
And if someone is on the fence about applying for a position within Gateway, what would you say to them?
Um, there's definitely nothing more rewarding than being able to help people. I love that we serve such a diverse population at Gateway. we have really good benefits, so that's a huge thing. Let's see here. My program area is very flexible with scheduling, which is awesome. It makes like the life work balance a lot easier. And I would have to say that my supervisors generally like care about us as people, as employees, and I definitely feel valued and appreciated within my position.
So you talk about like some of these cases that you work with are really, they're really stressful or they're a little bit emotionally taxing. How do you balance, the empathy on one hand and then also, your own, mental health and sanity on the other?
I think having those boundaries are really huge. You just need to know when to leave work at work, and you have to realize going into this field that you're not going to be able to help everybody as much as you want to. And I think just having that realistic expectation.
Hmm. So outside of work, what do you like to do for fun? What are some of your hobbies?
I love to spend time with my fiance Corey and our English bulldog Maggie. We're getting married in September, so that's exciting. And we're gonna do our honeymoon. We're gonna do a road trip to Disney, which is super fun. But I love to travel, go to concerts, cooking, baking. With all that being said, though, I am currently getting my MSW at UB, so don't always have the time for all of that. But that would basically be it.
Yeah.
And what do you love about coming to Gateway every day? What motivates you to come to work?
Um, it sounds like super cliche, but being able to empower and encourage families that have come into services because they've got a lot of high needs, and being able to work with these families is the biggest thing. It's great.